Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing? This video lesson is about how to solo across the entire neck using the 5 positions of the pentatonic scale. Okay, so I've already went over how to do this using the diatonic scale, using 5 positions, and then I had another lesson showing how to do it in a little bit more complicated way, in my opinion, using 7 positions. So now I'm showing you how to solo within a key up and down the neck of the fretboard using the 5 pentatonic positions. Okay, so the good thing about the pentatonic positions is if you had already learned the diatonic scale up and down the neck, then the pentatonic scale is just removing some notes. Okay, the pentatonic scale uses 5 of the 7 notes. Alright, so if you recall from the introductory lesson on the natural minor scale and the introductory lesson on the pentatonic scales, either major or minor, you'll know that the full diatonic scale looks like this. Okay, and then the pentatonic scale is simply just a removal of notes. Okay, and if you were to start on your major tonic note, it would be. And then again, the major pentatonic would just be removing some notes. Alright. So, with that said, I'm going to show you how to do the 5 positions of the pentatonic scale up and down the neck. Now keep in mind these 5 positions work for both major and minor. I'm going to use the same color scheme as I have in my last 2 lessons. Red is going to indicate the major tonic note and white is going to indicate the minor tonic note, okay? But the scales are the same, okay? So if you're in a major key, you can use these 5 patterns. If you're in a minor key, you can use these 5 patterns. It's the location of your tonic note within each of the patterns that determines whether or not you're playing a major pentatonic scale or a minor pentatonic scale, okay? So I'm going to use the same way as I did before, where I just kind of show a fretboard diagram that spans across the whole top of the screen, and I'm just going to circle each of the positions as I play through each one. Okay, so let me get to the first one. Okay, so here you have your pentatonic scale spanned across the whole entire neck of the fretboard. Okay, the key we're using is A minor / C major. Same thing. If you're in A minor, you're going to be focusing on the white dot because that's your tonic note for a minor key. If you're in the key of C major, you're going to be focusing on the red dot because that is the position of the tonic note for a major key. Okay, these are both interchangeable with one another. Alright, so here you have your first pattern. Okay, within this first pattern, this is your basic pentatonic scale that everyone knows. Okay, so starting on the white dot and going to the white dot, it's a minor pentatonic scale. Starting from the red dot and going to the red dot, it's a major pentatonic scale. Okay, so that is your position 1 of the pentatonic scale. Okay, so here is your second pentatonic position. Alright, so this can be either major or minor again. The red note would indicate your major tonic, the white note would indicate your minor tonic. Alright, I'm moving up from this 4 fret position to this 4 fret position now, okay? So before, my first finger covered the 5th fret and my 4th finger covered the 8th fret, and I played 2 note combinations on each string within that area. Now I'm moving up to here, alright? And I'm still using 2 note per string combinations spanning a range of 4 frets, okay? So now the first string, or the 6th string, the E string, is going to start out with my middle finger on the 8th fret. Okay, this is the fingering that I recommend since it spans across 4 frets, 1 finger per fret. Okay, so starting on the 8th fret you have okay? And just because I started and ended on that red note there, that major tonic note, that does not necessarily mean that this has to be a major pentatonic scale. This can also be used as a minor pentatonic scale. This is simply just an extension of the first pattern, okay? Okay? And I ended on the major tonic, so it sounded major. But if I were to end on the minor, it would have sounded minor. Okay, both work, major and minor. Okay, so we're doing the key of A minor and C major, same thing relative to one another. All right, so on to the third position. Okay, so this is your third position here, and I know I said that each position only covers 4 frets. Well, I apologize, I kind of lied. Actually, this position covers 5 frets. There's a little shift here, but watch the finger that I'm doing, and you'll notice that I do a little shift. Okay, so I'm starting with my middle finger here on the 10th fret. Okay, so again, this is just a continuation of the last pattern. The last pattern ended on the 10th fret on the low E string. Not ended, but you know, that was the furthest span of the previous position. Now I'm starting on the 10th fret with my middle finger. So this pattern goes like this. And then you shift up. And then you shift back down. Okay, so now you can use whatever fingering feels comfortable to you, but I prefer to do it this way. Okay, sometimes I use my first and my third while I'm playing, but when you're playing, you kind of tend to break some rules, but for practice purposes, it wouldn't be a bad idea to use these fingerings. Okay, so. Okay, so now you can connect all 3 of these together. 3 different pentatonics, or not 3 different pentatonic positions. It's all the same scale. A minor, C major, works for both. Okay, so now to the 4th position. Okay, so here's your 4th position. Your last position started with your middle finger on the 10th fret and your pinky on the 12th fret. Now you're starting on the 12th fret, okay? And now you're up in these 4 fret area between the 12th and the 15th. All right, and notice that this box right here looks very similar to the first position, except now your roots are on the A string. Okay, so your minor tonic note is here, and your major tonic note is here under your pinky, just like down here. Okay, so you can look at it that way with just some notes underneath it on the low E string, or you could just look at it as a total of all 6 strings, however you want to visualize it. I prefer to visualize it starting on the A string, but if you want to visualize it starting on the E string, that's fine too, because those notes are still available to you. So again, the fingering, 4 fingers, 4 frets. That is position number 4. So now using these, you can solo here, you can solo here, you can solo here, and you can solo here. You have 4 different positions now. Alright, now on to the 5th position. Okay, so now here is our 5th and final position. Alright, so the last position started on the 12th fret and ended on the 15th fret. Now we're starting on the 15th fret and ending this position on the 17th fret. Okay, this is another one where you start using your middle finger. Alright, so there's 4 frets, 4 fingers, 1 finger per fret. Middle finger starts on the 15th here. Okay, so that is your 5th position. And now I'm going to go to the 1st position again, but I'm going to move up an octave higher than what I originally started at. Okay, so that's the next part. Okay, so now we're back at our original starting position, except now we're an octave higher than we started out. So we started out down here before. We started on the 5th fret, 5th to the 8th area. Now we're up here, 17th to the 20th fret area. It's just an octave higher. You have an A down here on your low E string, and you have an A here on your low E string. So the okay, same thing. Now once I get up here, I tend to use my pinky a little less because I can't cram all my fingers in there, but however you feel comfortable playing this, the pattern is going to remain the same. And one thing to notice is, because position 5 is right to the left of this position 1, because this is now your octave higher position 1, we previously just did position 5, that same concept can be applied down here too. So here's your position 1. Okay, and then position 5 is right to the left of it. Okay, and then you have this position 5 up here. Alright, so they always go in numerical order. It always goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Alright, and this way as well. So this is 1, this would be 5, then 4. Okay, so the pentatonic works like that, as well as every other guitar pattern that we do. Alright, so with that said, that covers your 5 positions of the pentatonic scale. Let me just give you some final words. Okay, so those were your 5 positions of your pentatonic scale. Alright? Up and down the neck, within a key, using the pentatonic positions. Works for major, works for minor. Same exact thing, same exact patterns, same notes within the pattern, same relationships between patterns 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 3 and 4 and 4 and 5. Doesn't matter. Just as I said in the diatonic scale lessons, major and minor, they're the same thing. The only difference is the location of your tonic note within each of the patterns. And I use the same coloring scheme as I did with those diatonic lessons. The white note indicated the minor tonic note within each of the patterns, and the red note indicated the major tonic note within each of the patterns, okay? But the relationships of the patterns are always going to be the same. Your pattern 1 is always going to be pattern 1, pattern 2 is always going to come right next to it, pattern 3 is always going to come right next to that, pattern 4 is always going to come right next to that. This is just a framework that allows you to solo within one key. Okay, so if the band tells you we're in the key of G minor, for example, you can say, okay, G minor. You come down here, you start 3rd fret, low E string, and then that's your pattern number 1 for the key of G minor. And then if you want to continue moving up the fretboard, you can move to your pattern 2 and you're still in G minor. Alright, and then you can move up here, and then you can be using pattern 3 in the key of G minor. Then move up a little further and you're still in the key of G minor. Then move up to here. Then move up to here. Alright, and then you can even go up further if you would like, or you can go down further if you would like, because it's always 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that order. Same thing works for minor key, or for major keys. If the band tells you you're in a key of, say you're in the key of E major, for example, alright, and you want to start out using your pattern number 1 in the key of E major. Okay, so your E is here on the 12th fret, but now, because it's a major key, you want to start out using your pinky on the E, but then there's your pattern there. Okay, it's still the same pattern number 1, it's just the location of the tonic note change. And then your pattern number 2 is still going to be right next to it. Okay, then your pattern number 3 is going to be right next to that. And then same thing going down, since this is your pattern 1, or this is going to be your pattern 5 right here. Alright, so these are all connected together, it's just the location of your tonic note. Major scale, minor scale, same thing. Hopefully I've drilled that point home enough, because some people don't seem to understand that. It's very, very confusing to a lot of people, even guys that have been playing guitar for a very long time. Don't seem to understand the relationship between the major scale and the minor scale. That's why I keep trying to drill that point in. But hopefully I've done a good job of that within these last few lessons. If there's any questions or any comments you want to make, feel free to hit me up or just comment on this video. Alright, thanks a lot.